I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Jim McGinty sent me a request for a video on sharpening the old frame buck Swede saws that were made in the 1920s. Wooden frame, kind of an 1.5 inch wide blade, just like this one. Here you go, Jim. This one's for you. Hello again. I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This morning, we're going to be testing out the sharpening job on this frame bucksaw. You never want to leave your frame saw tightened up. Just before you use it, you tighten up the turnbuckle. Then when you're done, you loosen it. Now why is that? This is a wooden frame. Wooden frame can attract moisture, and the moisture can cause the frame to swell. When that happens, this constraint holds it stiff, this constraint holds it stiff, but this grows and it'll actually fracture the sides of the saw. So whenever you're done with it, you always want to loosen up the turnbuckle. Not too bad a cut, but I think it could use some more set. So we'll take it down to the shop, we'll put some more set on the blade and try it again. Because they share the same design of teeth, I'm going to set this saw just like I set a standard crosscut saw. I'm going to go along every other tooth and set it from this side, flip the saw around and set it again from the other side, every other tooth. Now this Dunlop saw set is somewhat of an enigma. It has numbers on the sides of the cam wheel that are a reference point for setting the tooth, but they don't really mean anything. At least I haven't found anywhere where it says what they mean. So what I do is I look at this saw, I do a test set, I check how much offset there is. In this case I want about 10, maybe 15 thousandths, because it's a fairly large tooth. And then you go on. The idea for me is to make sure that this cam has the set of the tooth fairly close to the end of the tooth. And you can see that the cam is larger in some areas and smaller in others. And that corresponds to how much of the tooth gets bent by the saw set. Small teeth, you need to do the bend up higher. Large teeth, like what's on this saw, you want to do the bend further down. The idea is on the small teeth you don't want to bend too close to the bottom, you'll make them snap. On the larger teeth you want to bend closer to the bottom because you don't want to just bend the very tip. Now we'll try it with some set on the saw. This is the saw cut before I put a set on the teeth, and this is the saw cut afterwards. The distance between the cuts is much greater on this one than it is on this one. This is a smoother cut, but that's because it's cutting slower. I want to take off great big chunks. I'm not concerned about finish or edge condition or whether the grain is true or not on this piece of wood. I'm just making firewood. Cuts fairly well. Still not anything I want to cut a cord of firewood with. When you're 11 years old looking at a stack of wood with one of these in your hand, it's a daunting task. When you're 63 and you're looking at a stack of firewood with one of these in your hand, it's even more daunting. But knowing how to sharpen it means it's going to cut easier, faster, and do a better job. Now that we've finished the frame bucksaw, if you guys have any suggestions for tips that you'd like to see a video on, or a question that you'd like to have answered, something I can answer of course, then drop a note in the comments below. You know, I read them all. Thanks for watching.